Hi, how you doing? And welcome back to a video on the channel. So we're in the middle of international week, but it seems like a good time to have a bit of a preview of game week 9. We're going to have a look at my team review of game week 8, how the wild card went, and my thoughts moving forward into the future. So let's get into it. So if you are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. I actually had some new subscribers over the last video, which was absolutely fantastic and greatly appreciated. And as we get the team on the board here, it was an okay game week. I mean, if you're wild carding, you kind of want to not have a red arrow after your wild card, which is what happened to me. But I will put it down to sort of being kind of at a 50k rank. You are more likely to go down than up, just in the like. There's not as many places to move up as there is down. Or at least that's what I'm telling myself. The wild card was okay. I mean, I took Sterling out, and he did that thing where he scores a load of points in one game week. But I'm sure he's not going to do much for the next few game weeks like last time. After he scored a load of points, but without taking out Sterling, I also wouldn't have been able to get in Salah, who did score 15 points as well. So that was, pretty much like for like. The defense wasn't great. I did kind of bank on a Newcastle clean sheet, which didn't happen, and likewise for Aston Villa. Pedro Porro got a clean sheet, but I did have, if you'd have seen the video before, I did have Van de Ven in my team who scored and got like 15 points, which is just typical. But really, when I was wildcarding, I really wasn't trying to focus on just one game week. Like I'm trying to focus on the next few game weeks because my transfers are now going to be back to normal. I'm not going to have that flexibility. So, whilst there was some unfortunate sort of returns in terms of what I could have gone with, overall, I am happy with the team. Haaland had another blank, so that's not ideal, but I just think, there's really no need to captain anyone else just in terms of, the risk, like we always talk about. And I'm still just outside the top 100k, essentially 100k because the point split is still really small. So on to the fixtures for this game week, and they're looking pretty good to be honest. We start off with a 12:30 kickoff on Saturday, Liverpool versus Everton, and whilst Everton are starting to show signs of promise, you would fancy Liverpool in this one, especially because it's at Anfield. The 3 o'clock fixtures, there's quite a lot of them. You've got Man City and Newcastle playing in this sort of section of games. Man City Brighton will be an interesting game because having lost their last 2 games, Man City will be looking to turn it around. But Brighton are no pushovers. And, I would, again, maybe stay away from defenders in this game. I could see it being quite high scoring. But then that's what we thought about Arsenal and Man City, and look how that turned out. Newcastle Crystal Palace. I do like my Newcastle double defence for the Crystal Palace game, especially now they've got like a few injuries of Crystal Palace on the attacking side of things. Other than that, there's not really many standout fixtures in the 3 o'clocks. The 5:30 on Saturday though is Chelsea Arsenal, and that is going to be a fantastic game. You would really like to see Arsenal push on from beating Man City, and capitalising on that momentum. There's another game on Saturday, Sheffield United at home to Man United. Now, if Man United are going to continue this sort of turnaround in form that they're hoping they could be having, you would really expect them to beat Sheffield United. I don't see Sheffield United scoring, even against Man United's defence, but at the current form that Man United are in, you never know. So the rest of the fixtures for the game week are pretty much, so. You've got a couple of mid-table teams playing on Sunday, and then Spurs host Fulham. You would like to think Spurs, if you've got their players, that's a good fixture for them at home. And Aston Villa West Ham, you could really say could go either way. In terms of captaincy, I can understand why people are getting rid of Haaland. They're not just captaining him; he's actually dropped down in price, back to 14 mil, which is nothing to necessarily panic with if you're a Haaland owner. But whether you're going to move off him for captaincy, if you are going to do that, then Son and Salah do look like reasonable options. Me personally, I'm still going to stick with Haaland. So the team for this game week, and it looks pretty good to be honest. And like we said, we are aiming to sort of wildcard for the next few game weeks at least. And in goal, I've got a kind of a decision to make, to be honest, between Onana and Turner, playing both the sides that you would expect to sort of score the fewest amount of goals this season. For me, I then look at it like, well, I'm not really looking at Man United and Forest defence. I'm looking at the Sheffield United and Luton attack. And then who do I necessarily think is going to score fewer goals? Well, I think Sheffield United are going to score fewer goals this season. Luton have kind of proved that they can score. Even though the Nottingham Forest are at home and Man United are away, I think I will still back Man United ahead of Forest for a clean sheet. Into the defence, and benching Lamptey is pretty obvious, mainly because of the fixture. He would probably be on the bench anyways, in as a 4 million defender. And the defenders that are playing do have pretty good fixtures. Everyone's at home. I know Aston Villa have West Ham, but that is the sort of game that could go either way. So there is the possibility for a clean sheet there. And Spurs and Newcastle, I would anticipate keeping clean sheets at home to Fulham and Palace, respectively. Hopefully Lascelles will still start. Be interesting to see if Botman comes back, but I do have the funds to upgrade Lascelles to Botman if I need to, and I think that would be the transfer that I would be making into the midfield, and we do have quite a lot of good fixtures in here as well. You would say that Chelsea's defence is a little bit leaky at best. Hopefully, Saka will be back. Um, Thankfully, he's had a bit of a break over the international week or double week, and he should be ready to go for game week 9. Son and Salah also have home fixtures. Again, Everton at home and Fulham at home are fantastic fixtures from an attacking point of view. Both defences look a little bit shaky, and I'd like to see Diaby get a return. He had been having consistent returns up until the last couple of game weeks where I got him in, and I'd like to see him score or assist against West Ham, but that is possible. Up front, we've got Haaland and Watkins. So I do feel like Man City, Haaland could do well against Brighton. They haven't really done that well defensively. I still don't think they've kept a clean sheet, to be honest, all season. But I can't see that changing against Man City away. And Watkins scored for England in the most recent fixture, as well as sort of really hitting some form, or at least turning his good play into goals. So that's the team for this game week. I do have a free transfer to use, but as it stands, unless Lascelles isn't going to play, I don't really see a need to make a transfer. Like I say, if Lascelles isn't playing, that transfer from Lascelles to Botman is the obvious choice. But let me know what you think. Is there anyone that I'm missing in my team? Have you got any transfer questions as well? Good luck in the game week 9. Hopefully it works out for you. This probably will be the only video of the game week because we've recently wildcarded. There's not really going to be like any point in having a wildcard video because it would essentially be the same team as what I've got now, maybe one or two tweaks which we've talked about as well. So let me know what you think. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next one.